the Fairy of Whispers. In a forgotten corner of the forest, where the trees rose like giants and the flowers shone with colors that defied imagination, there lived a fairy named Lyra. Lyra was not an ordinary fairy. Her magic came from the whispers of the wind. Every time the wind blew softly, she could hear the secrets and desires of the beings that inhabited the forest. If you like stories, I invite you to join our community. By subscribing, not only do you ensure that you do not miss any of our new adventures, but you also become part of this family of dreamers. One morning, as Lyra danced among the flowers, she heard a whisper that made her stop. It was the lament of a little deer named Timo, who was trapped in a spider web. With his compassionate heart, Lyra flew quickly towards him. "What happened to you, little friend?" Lyra asked, his voice soft as the murmur of a stream. "I got lost, trying to find a way back home. I got stuck," Timo replied, with tears in his eyes. Lyra, with a touch of her magic wand, made the thorns come undone, freeing the deer. Timo, grateful, said to him, "You are very kind, Lyra. How can I return the favor?" "You don't need to do anything in return," Lyra smiled. "Just remember that you can always count on the magic of friendship." As the days passed, Lyra and Timo became inseparable. Together they explored the forest, shared laughs, and discovered the secrets of nature. However, one day, while they were playing near a crystal lake, Lyra heard a different whisper, one that filled her with concern. It was the lament of an old fox who had been in the forest for centuries. His branches were withered and his trunk worn over time. Lyra approached flying, feeling the sadness of the tree. "What afflicts you, dear fox?" she asked tenderly. "I have seen many seasons pass, but now I feel that my time is running out. Without my leaves, the forest will lose its home and its shadow," replied the fox, his deep and resonant voice. Lyra felt a knot in her heart when she heard the words of the old fox. She knew that her magic was powerful, but she also understood that there were things that could not change. However, she could not allow the forest to lose one of its oldest guardians. "Do not worry, dear fox," said Lyra, with determination in her voice. "Together we will find a way to revitalize you. Your wisdom and your shadows are essential to all who live here." With the help of Timo, Lyra began to look for answers. They flew through the forest, asking the creatures they found on their way. They asked the butterflies, the birds, and the little rabbits, but no one seemed to have the solution they needed. Finally, they reached a clearing where an old owl, known for his vast wisdom, was found. Lyra landed softly on a branch nearby and asked him, "Oh, wise owl, we have come in search of help. The fox is losing his strength and his life. How can we help him?" The owl, with his big and deep eyes, observed Lyra and Timo carefully. After a moment of reflection, he said, "The fox needs to remember his connection to the earth. He must receive the embrace of the rain and the song of the sun. But there is something else. He must share his story with those around him. Only then can he be reborn." Lyra immediately understood what to do. He returned to the fox and told him, "Dear fox, you must tell your story. Talk about the seasons you have seen, the animals you have protected, and the dreams you have sheltered. Let everyone in the forest hear your voice." The fox, although doubtful at first, began to tell his life. He spoke of the sunny days and the storms he had faced. He narrated how it had been a refuge for birds and a home for squirrels. As his words filled the air, something magical began to happen. The withered leaves began to shine with a new splendor, and a soft breeze brought with it the rain it needed so much. As the rain fell softly on the oak, the leaves began to vibrate with life. The sound of the drops resonated like a melody, and each note seemed to revitalize the tree. Lyra and Timo watched in amazement as the branches of the oak were filled with an intense green, as if life itself returned to its being. The oak continued its story, and with each word, the magic of the forest intensified. The creatures that lived nearby approached, attracted by the story. The birds landed on their branches, the rabbits approached curiously, and even the deer stopped to listen. Everyone was captivated by the voice of the oak, which resonated with the wisdom of the years. "I have seen generations grow and wither," said the oak, I have witnessed the beauty and sadness of life. But every story, every whisper, is a thread that weaves the fabric of this forest. With each story, the oak felt stronger. The leaves shone with a golden glow, and its trunk stood up with renewed majesty. Lyra smiled, feeling that the connection between the oak and the forest was strengthening. "Thank you, dear friend," said Lyra. "Your story is a gift for all of us." The owl, who had been watching from his branch, applauded with his wings. Life is renewed through stories. Never underestimate the power of sharing what you have lived. Over time, the oak not only regained its strength, but became a symbol of hope and community. The creatures of the forest began to gather around it, sharing their own stories and creating a circle of life and magic that had never existed before. And so, the forest flourished, full of laughter and whispers, where each living being became part of a greater story. Lyra, the oak, and all the inhabitants of the forest learned that, although time can wear out, stories have the power to heal and unite. Since then, the oak was not only a tree, but a guardian of stories. If you have enjoyed these stories and have been carried away by fantasy, I invite you to join our community. Until next time,